Let's talk about it. Are you getting the DLC? Ones and twos in chat. I did, Sandslash. I did. I got to. I won a 1K. Won a incredibly hard tournament. Already, I love that Nil said already bought 2 boxes, and this definitely counts as a 2 mark. Are you getting the DLC? The goal of this presentation today is going to be what I can do to help you upgrade your deck with the DLC. I'm going to explain the DLC and then ways that you can best utilize it. And if you like this, if you like how this goes, go and pick up a DLC or hopefully be inspired to get your own. I have made a mistake because I put that screen on this screen. And so I have to go back to my face shot in order to take down this. I'm a professional. I do this for, it's how I do it for a living, actually. Look at me. Look how good I am. All right. Yeah, the DLC I think is going to be really rad, and here are some things that I think that you could/should do to upgrade it. So what is a DLC? Nice and easy. It is deck loadable content. It is a supplemental pack that Jasco has created that will upgrade the decks that you have, as well as inject a little life into the format for the My Hero Academia collectible card game. The DLC comes with 4 characters, each splitting all 12 symbols evenly. It comes with each character having an attack and a foundation. And you get 2 copies of said attack, foundation, and character. These DLCs, because they're all My Hero cards currently, these are all 2 dots secondary versions of the original characters inside of the set, all with at least one of their symbols changed. I think in this set they all have 1 symbol changed, right? Fire, evil, death, earth. Yes. Anywho. So I want to talk in depth, in length about this DLC and upgrading the decks that you have, how to best utilize the attacks and foundations, and how to give like a soft build for the characters. So let's talk about All Might 2. All Might 2 is a 6 hand size, 29 health character with all fire good. He discards the top 4 cards of his deck. He gets damage. And then if your next move is blocked, he gets more damage. And then if he does land a hit and can find some momentum, he draws a bunch of extra cards. Very aggressive character. He draws so much, and the most important part is he punishes interaction. That top enhance that says if this move is blocked, your next one gets +2 damage is really good if you can string out long enough combos to have your opponent stop blocking you. And if they don't block you, right, you get that momentum and you draw more cards to string out even harder and faster. It's really good stuff. Incredibly strong character. I think that he's going to do some unbelievable results. As soon as I pick up my DLC, one of the first characters that I'm making. I think he's really strong. So if you like this hyper aggressive, a lot of draw, punishing interaction gameplay, then All Might 2 is the one for you. Some of the cards that we can use from the main set include all of these. We've got Missouri Smash, a card that says if it deals damage, build the next foundation you play. This makes my opponent draw. This makes my opponent choose between, does my next one get damage or do I get to build that extra foundation? Aggressive Temper is a card that says once it enters my discard pile during the attack step. All Might 2 says I discard the top 4 cards out of my deck in order to get a bonus. This doubles up on your damage nice and quick because of how angry All Might is, I guess. Reverse Throw. It's a punch. It's a throw. It gets a bunch of extra damage. If they decide to block your first move and you're able to play a reverse throw as your second card, it's going to get the 4 damage. It gets 2 because your first move was blocked, and it gets 2 from All Might for milling the top 4 again. As well as it's guaranteed momentum to trigger his bottom enhance. Capture Evildoers is honestly made for this character. If you look, it's got all 3 of his symbols. Stealing a momentum, unbelievably important inside of this character, and this character wants to play these big long strings because the longer he can string, the better. So if he can spare the momentum, if he has a grip of attack cards in his hand, if he can spare the momentum, you can clear those cards from your card pool and keep slinging orange. Frigid Heatwave is a really neat card because it wants to have 6 or more attacks in your discard pile, so you get to draw your 2 bonus cards. And All Might helps you facilitate having those ranged cards in your discard pile. I don't think that there's enough ranged cards currently in set 1, but if you have not picked up your Frigid Heatwaves and you want to play ranged All Might 2, you need to do so now, because if there's ever another Todoroki that is a ranged character and has the fire symbol, then Fire All Might 2 is going to be kind of crazy. Hardened Chop. This card already punishes my opponent for blocking, and so punishing them even harder as All Might 2 feels great, and this guy's always a 4-low for 7. Not to mention being hyper aggressive with like being able to build extra face downs. Instant explosive release. If my first attack hit this turn, I get to snap this card to momentum. Honestly, I think this is the best attack for All Might 2 is instant explosive release. This card's insane for this character. You discard the top 4 cards of your deck in order to get damage. Your first one, they don't block it because they don't want your next one to get even bigger. And so now every instant explosive release that you do is at least a 3 high for 5. It always snaps you a momentum. It's always going to draw you an extra card off of All Might. Card's actually insane. Engine Rush, just like Hardened Chop, but instead of if they do block your move, it's another one of those if they don't block your move cards. And so it's forcing your opponent once again to interact with you, and it's a 5 mid for 7. And lastly, Corrosion Lunge, really tight inside of a Fury package. If it's blocked, your next one gets +2 speed, +2 damage. It means it gets +2 speed, +4 damage, which means it actually gets +2 speed, +6 damage because we're playing as All Might. Corrosion Lunge has like a perfect home inside of All Might 2. And these are cards inside of the main set of my hero that you can take and just instantly slot into All Might 2 and feel really, really good about it. Mighty Punch. Mighty Punch, I know I made the card really small, but if you need to look this card up, UVSultra.online can show you these cards. Just look them up in the search bar. It's a Fury Punch. Discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If the attack is not blocked, you draw 2 cards. This card feels really good in All Might 1. It is a Fury and a Punch playable under 2 of his symbols. It also forces your opponent to kind of interact with this card because you're not allowed to give All Might more cards in his hand. And this can like force a block out of your opponent on a zone that really matters. This feels like a really good lead-in attack with All Might 1. As it helps you draw bonus stuff. Coordinated Effort. If this attack is blocked, you build it face down after it resolves. If it's not blocked as Mighty Punch, you draw 2 cards. So if you have Coordinated Effort out on your board, it's either clear your card pool and build a foundation, or draw 2 bonus cards and deal 7 damage, right? Crazy. Setup Strike. 3 mid for 7. Kind of sucks. Not a very good exchange rate. 5 mid for 7, very, very good at convincing my opponent to not block my move. Really, really tight abilities. Bakugo, his top response after your block for your attack resolves, discard from the card pool. I think that this card, Mighty Punch alone, lets Bakugo under fire be like a kind of a playable symbol. Right? I think Fire Bakugo becomes incredibly, incredibly strong just because of the interaction exclusively with this one card. It's really, really tight. And same thing, like we could talk about Bakugo, we talk about Agitation. If my attack is blocked, I draw 1 card. If I have 2 Agitation on the board and I throw down a Mighty Punch, I'm going to draw 2 cards. It's going to happen. Like it just, after my Fury attack is blocked, I draw a card. If my Fury attack is not blocked, I draw 2 cards. Crushed it. I'm drawing cards. It's going to happen. And then lastly, Evil Gaze, kind of in the same vein as Coordinated Effort, except it's kind of like Coordinated Effort and Setup Strike together. It's going to give extra speed, and it's going to really punish my opponent for not blocking my moves. It feels really, really good to toss Evil Gaze on top of Mighty Punch. A 5 mid for 7 is not our stats to not sneeze at. And getting the bonus on if blocked, if not blocked, not to mention if your character like Bakugo, All Might, or even All Might 2 works really well on it. On to the foundations. Staggering Positivity. 2 for 2 high. Flip your move gets +2 damage. If this attack is blocked, shuffle up to 3 cards from either player's discard into their deck. This card is a really, really tight combo piece to or sorry, a really tight disruption piece to mess with my opponent's board, right? I can take and use things like if I'll flip Staggering Positivity on my opponent's attack, and I will put Eraserhead's Erases back in their deck. If they don't pick them up, like they have to pick them up and hold them. They're not allowed to block with them, right? If they don't pick them up, then they've lost their Erases until they go check them again. And so that could buy you a couple turns where your character is back live and back and useful. Being able to re-put in things like Bonds of Friendship or Aggressive Temper to reuse these available 6 checks or the +2 bonus is really, really tight. So any card that like is useful off the top of the deck, things like Aggressive Temper, Burst Speed, Specialist of Sound, these cards that like you want on the top card of your deck is really good. Not to mention things like Touch of Decay, where if this attack is not blocked, I draw a card. You get to threaten it with things like Staggering Positivity, where if it is blocked, you're going to disrupt your opponent. All really, really good. It's actually really cool in Touch of Decay because your first enhance is just Staggering Positivity to give it the +2 damage, and then you have the Staggering Positivity as a face down to then commit, so you didn't lose any value on your Touch of Decay. A lot of neat combos. A lot of people are going to shy away from this card because it is a 2/4 with a 2 high block. Its stat lineup on board is like not fantastic, but giving bonus damage and being able to either flow or disrupt my opponent in this way is a really, really good exchange rate, and it's kind of earned that 4. Can put back home run comments from right. Yeah, I mean we see how potent Ochako is pulling pulling selected pieces up out of their discard pile. I literally won a game because I fought against a Shigaraki and was able to put a Wall Cling on top of my deck and then draw it. Well, if I had blocked that move, and if I had blocked a previous move and was not able to put my Wall Clings back because they all got shuffled back in my deck, then you know I'm gonna lose that one. Onto Ochako. Ochako's a 5-hand size with 33 health. Excuse me, that's so much health. She is an air, chaos, and death character. She replaced the death symbol. She replaced the life symbol, excuse me, on her 1 dot. Response once per turn. After your non-throw attack deals damage, add it to your hand. Your next check to play an attack is +2. That's amazing. That could have been the entire card, and we feel great. Enhance commit. This attack gets -3 speed, or enhance : this attack gets +2 speed. This character, if she is winning, pops off. Let me make my cam just a little bit smaller so we can read that bottom one. The main lines of play that we want to use with Ochako is she's really, really good at rebuying 1 attack. So as we look inside of her kit or any throws, sorry, can't be throws. As we look inside of her kit, we play a move, it hits them, and then we get to pick it back up. We can then play it once again. She essentially becomes a 6-hand size character as we are able to land attacks, and using our enhance +2 speed, we're pretty much always going to land these attacks. The game has been designed to where your based stats feel good, and so if you're able to give +2 speed over the course of every single move possible, it's just really, really potent. She has a really easy blockable once per turn. People play Ida for his once per turn +3 or -3 speed. This character is a 5-hand size version of Ida with enhance commit -3 speed. Boom, just pops off. Yes, it is technically an enhance. It is once per turn. It is commit cost. But once per turn, I'm going to keep my vitality incredibly high, which I already start with a ton of it. I start at a 533. I guarantee make one of these blocks happen. And there are plenty of really good abilities on all 3 of these symbols of on-block triggers, right? Under air, we've got things like sound waves. Under chaos, we've got things like ice wall. Under death, we've got combos with evil gaze. And so we've got these really good on-block abilities that Ochako can guarantee make happen. And then the last cool play pattern is you get to reuse your awesome abilities. Yeah, we get to buy back the 1 attack, but I really want to go in depth of it's not just like, oh, I'm throwing a big move, it hits, I pick it up, I throw a big move again. It's not about the numbers on your cards. It's really about the abilities on your cards, right? The main way that I'm playing Ochako 2 right now is I'm playing with Frigid Heatwave, which I'm sure is on the next slide. That card says draw 2 cards. If I can hit them with a Frigid Heatwave that I've made 2 speed faster, it's a 7 high for 4 starting, it's probably going to hit them. I'm going to pick it up and play it again. I'm going to draw 2 more cards. And not only that, I'm going to play my 5 difficulty card like it's a 3 diff because I've got +2 to my check. If you can find a really cool attack package that you like want to reuse moves over and over and over again, if you want to, hey, what a perfect Ochako 2 card is Pillar Swing. It's a 6 difficulty move. It's very slow for 8 damage. You hit them with this 5 mid for 8 stun 2. If it's not blocked, you pick back up and you just jam it down again as a 4 diff. That card is nuts in that character. It's crazy good, dude. If you notice, I couldn't help myself but just to put a bunch of Ochako 2 attack cards that we want to play. What up, Kaz? Sorry, Atari. How's it going, man? Yeah, as I talked about, Frigid Heatwave previously, Specialized Soundwave feels amazing. If you catch your opponent without a... Man, Specialized Soundwave in this character is nuts. I Specialized Soundwave, I draw a card. If they don't block it, I pick it back up, I play it again, I draw a card, I ship it in my momentum. Yuck. And not only is Specialized Soundwave, if I've got 2 momentum, it's draw 2 cards up out of my discard pile. Wowzers. That's so good. Or like, draw a random card, stack my check, draw the next, draw a random card, stack my checks, draw the next card. Like there's so much we can do with it. Berserker Blow, if you catch your opponent without a low block, you get to destroy one of their foundations. Not to mention, I have Gale Force Punch. Gale Force Punch is an 8 mid for 6 in this character that when I lose 3 health, I get 5 extra damage on my next one. And being a 5-hand size character and a real 5-hand size character, right? I'm probably going to have less foundations than my opponent. So I'm going to jam out this Gale Force Punch, blow up the thing that interacts with me, hit them with it, pick it back up, slam it back down on the table. It's now an 8 mid for 11. And I'm going to blow up another impact card. And that second one is not a 6 diff, it's a 4 diff because I've got +2 to my check. Gale Force Punch is a beating in this character. Zero Gravity Lift, it's a throw, but giving this thing 5 speed and having it be able to excuse me, trigger and move key pieces and clearing out your card pool is really important. Giant Ice Wall, it has stun 2, discard a momentum. Your next range attack this turn gets stun 2. So it's a 5 low for 5 with stun 2, discard a momentum. I'll pick back up my Giant Ice Wall that hit you. I'll play it again. I'll stun 2, and then this one gains stun 2. So it's a 5 low for 5 with stun 2, and then a 5 low for 5 with stun 2 and 2. So I'm committing down 6 foundations and slinging 10 damage at you. If I have any sort of follow-up after my Giant Ice Wall, there's nothing you can do about it because all my moves are going to get +2 speed, and I've committed 6 cards. What do you do? What do you do? Corrosion Lunge, once again, this card feels great. If blocked, do a thing. If not blocked, Ochako gets to replay it. It's another 5 low for 5. Turn to Dust is in the same field as Giant Ice Wall under a different symbol. It's a 6 high for 5 with stun 2, pick up, play it again. Turn to Dust is like Giant Ice Wall and Gale Force Punch, like kind of like combined a little bit. One's a little more stun heavy, one's a little more foundation heavy, but it feels totally fine with it feels totally fine with me losing 2 health to burn my opponent for 2, because I've got 33 to spare, right? Frog Lashing. I'll play this card on a 5 diff, right? I will be able to ready 2 face downs. Let's say that I check poorly. Sure. I will then get my stats on my face downs. I'll give it 2 extra speed. And so we'll pretend that we have 2 face downs. So it's a 6 high for 8 that I can pick up and then play on a 3 diff and then ready 2 more face downs if I need to. Right? I can play these Frog Lashing super late in the chain. Kind of like you can play really interesting lines with Frog Lashing because of that +2 to your check. And then lastly, Nitro Explosion Ignition. Right? I play Nitro. It hits, whatever. I choose not to lift that one. I play another move, right? And then it's a Fury move. It hits, like my Corrosion Lunge, like my Turn to Dust. I like my Gale Force Punch. I pick it back up. I generate a momentum. I lay it back down. I hit them with it. I then use Zero Gravity Lift. It'll leave. I'll then generate another momentum. I'll play my one last attack. I then use Nitro Explosion to clear my card pool and give it Powerful 2. I then Powerful 2 twice for +4 damage. And all in all, I've like committed no resources to do so. And not to mention, they all get +2 speed, like Nil says. Yeah, I think if this character gets rolling, I think she's just going to melt people. but she has to find the attack lineup and a solid enough build in order to do so. Yeah, that combo lifting Turnadus is free EX, 100%. Yeah, so now it's an 8 high for 5 with that, right? Or under the air or death symbol, you do that same combo, except for you use capabilities, right? And so now your capabilities is now a 4 high for 5 exchange rate because Ochako gives it the +2 speed as well. There's a lot of stuff this character can do, but it really is, because of how open-ended she is, you have to find the combos with it. Float combo. Float combo's a 5-3 with a 6 high for 4. It's got a 2 high block, ranged combo with a high attack, enhance, switch the attack speed and damage, enhance. If the attack is completely blocked, it still deals 1 damage. Wowzers, this card's good. Wowzers, this card's good. Yeah, so we've got Kaminari, who is begging for more. If this attack is fully blocked, it still deals 1 damage cards to trigger or once per game and shove it into our momentum. Not to mention, it's a 6 high for 4 that if he does happen to play a high attack, he can switch the zones at. Denki feels totally fine making this a 4 high for 7 and feeling good about it. Ojiro, he says his once per turn says that you increase the speed of the move, and then its speed can't be reduced. And so the way that you combo with float combo, Kaminari's once per turn only works with charge attacks, by the way. Charge or stun, right? And this is neither? Huh, this is just a bad video now. Thank you, I see what you did there. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, Denki does not work. It's funny. Okay, this is crazy. I had charged up on this screen, and I read charged up again, and went, oh, this doesn't work with float combo. I should take it off. And then, like, just assumed Denki worked with anything. Yeah, okay, my apologies. Thank you, chat. This is why we do this live. Yeah, Ojiro says that you can give this thing a bunch of speed. And then when you switch its attack speed and damage, its speed can't be lowered. And so it'll just keep the speed bonus and just gain the attack bonus. And so if my opponent has a bunch of face downs, my speed becomes massive and my damage becomes massive, and I just kind of bop my opponent. It's a really, really tight finisher. Eraserhead. Eraserhead giving any move +2 speed is crazy. And this is an easy way for him to have like a 6 diff that's like just like accidentally either like a 4 high for 8 or an 8 high for 4 or even like a 6 high for 6, depending on the order that he wants to like discard it and use his stuff. And as a 6 hand size character, he's able to get away with playing these a little more difficulty high curve cards because he's allowed to build so many cards. Mina does work the way that Kaminari does, where it says if your attack hits, you gain a health. So you can make this a 7 high for 4 that will always deal 1, so it'll always at least gain 1. Instant Explosive Release, another trigger on 2 symbols that say if my first move hit this turn, it will start slinging itself to momentum. And then Specialized Sound Waves is a really awesome combo with this, because you can specialize Sound Waves in order to discard the momentum, stack your 6 check, stack your float combo, draw your float combo, play your float combo, and it checked. And so the Specialized Sound Waves into float combo is just like a really, really safe play, because we get to change our check. And as chat has brought up, Shigaraki is going to be tearing up the format with this card. This card being a 6 high for 9 in him or a 6 high for 6 guaranteed is going to put a lot of people on a clock and really take the stock of Death Shigaraki sky high. It's going to be unbelievably high. On the first day of class. So the easiest thing that we can talk about first day of class is the enhance commit, the bottom one. Your next check to play a move gets +2. Your next check to play a move gets +2. This means that we can play bigger checks way later in our turn. Right? It feels super, super good. Does Wall Cling block still take 1 damage? No. No beats yes. If you Wall Cling a float combo, if you Wall Cling a throw, if you Wall Cling electric jolt, it does not happen. So yeah, so like first day of class, being able to play things like Blitz Rush, being able to play Long Lasting Explosion, being able to play these Frog Lashings later into your chain because you're committing less resources is really, really good. It says if I happen to check a 3 on my next move, it's like insurance, right? If I happen to check a 3 on my second move as I'm trying to play these big huge strings, I didn't. I checked a 5, right? So I'm paying 1 resource to make sure that I don't overcommit into a big aggro turn. And if I have to, the response flip on the card says after it's committed during the enhanced step, ready at play ball committed. So you can commit it due to its first ability, or you can commit it due to things like Todoroki, right? So Todoroki says response commit a foundation, your attack gets +1 damage for every 2 range cards in your discard pile. You can commit this card, flip it, and then ready it back up. Now I've got a bonus resource to commit again. Same thing with like Touch Decay, right? Enhance, commit a foundation. I get to ready back up. The DLC came out on Friday. Go check your local stores to see if it is legal. And then my last thing is Crow and Frog Takedown. If you are Atsui or Tokoyami, enhance ready 1 card in your status that's not been ready this turn. You get first day of class literally every turn, and you get to buy back its responsibility twice if you absolutely want to or need to, right? So you play Crow and Frog Takedown, you enhance commit, give your next check +2. You say Crow and Frog doesn't count as progressive. You enhance on Crow and Frog, and you re-ready your first day of class. You've spent no resources. You guarantee your next check is going to be at minimum a 5. Like there's Crow and Frog Takedown and first day of class are so potent together, and it's really going to push the air symbol for Atsui and the chaos symbol for Todoroki, or for Tokoyami, excuse me. Really good stuff. Up next, we have my favorite card in the game. We have Tini Ida. I'm gonna be very positive about this character, but I will put my opinions out up front. I don't like this character card. I think that he's not very good, but I want to highlight what are considered like the high key points of the character, so that if you at home, if Ida is your favorite character and you want to play a 7-hand size Ida, then you should be able to. And I want to give you the tools that you can to play the character. So Ida is a 7-hand size, 19 health character. He's got Earth, Order, Void. He swapped out the fire symbol for the Earth symbol. Response once per turn, discard a card, : that is your cost. After an attack is played, mine or yours, draw 1 card. That's pretty good. This attack is +2 speed. If you discard an attack, it gets +4 speed instead. It is important to note that it does say this attack gets 2 speed or 4 speed, and so if you do decide to do this on your opponent's attack, they are going to get that speed bonus, because it sometimes plays into its bottom enhance of if this attack, mine or yours, is at least double its printed speed, it gets +2 or -2 -2 damage. And so the line of play here is, on my turn, I'm going to be discarding some foundation cards in order to draw, hopefully, attack cards and become this 8 printed hand size asterisk of like I get to see these extra bonus cards. And then if I absolutely need to get this poke in as a second point, amazing pokes, I can just discard another attack card that I'm not planning on playing this turn, draw a fresh one, maybe a foundation to build or a different attack, right? And it's going to get +4 speed. Amazing speed pumps. And then if I happen to do it on my opponent's attack, and they've got what, a 2 base damage attack or a 4 base 2 speed attack, 4 speed attack, I can discard an attack, discard a card, double it, and then just give it -2 real quick. And so his last point is spammable damage pumps. As the card pool grows and as we start getting more speed pumps on foundations, and as we start getting more 2-speed moves, it's going to be way easier for Ida to leverage this spammable damage pump on his turn, and hopefully we'll be able to find a little damage reduction on my opponent's turn. But currently in the format, that is, the bottom enhance is going to be played very few and far between. It's pretty tough to pull off. And his entire personality is around giving Tape Toss 2 damage. It's all he does. Yeah, pretty much. If we're gonna keep it a buck. So the cards that he gets to play, he combos really well with Light Riser. Light Riser feels really good. So we can discard Light Riser for +3 speed if we need to, and that triggers, honestly, under void, that triggers a lot of attacks. There are a ton of attacks that feel really good at 3 speed that we can play under the void symbol, like Reciprocal Burst, right? Reciprocal Burst says that it gets a bonus equal to. It feels really good discarding an attack on Reciprocal Burst, and not being forced to spend a bonus momentum on his EX3 if we need to, right? If we have 2 momentum with Reciprocal Burst, Reciprocal Burst EX3, Ida's +4. I mean, that's +7 speed. Not to mention the stun 1, so that's +8 speed. And then we discard with Reciprocal Burst to give damage. And then our stats are double, and so we give another 2 damage. Like if I can make my pokes happen with Ida and keep myself alive, that feels really good. Tape Swing or next slide? I don't have Tape Swing on here, but yeah, Tape Swing's another good option that we have. We have some pretty big Reciprocal Bursts as long as we're down to just kind of all in on it. He always triggers Heroic Lineage. Always, right? The response commit for the +2 damage. All I have to do is discard any foundation or any card out of my hand in order to make my Heroic Lineage. Like I said, he's like the world's best poke character. He's really, really good at poking. I see 2 attacks and a handful of foundations. I'll play an attack. I'll discard an attack, give it +4 speed, tap a bunch of Heroic Lineages, give +2 on my face, and then we're off to the races. Pop off slide, grasping, tape toss, reverse throw. Those are my 2 speed moves that are playable under his symbols. They feel fine. Setup strike feels really good as a way to, under the order symbol, trigger my bottom enhance. Same thing with things like Reciprocal Extend, right? Reciprocal Extend into Reciprocal Extend, I'm going to draw my extra cards in order to filter more, to have more choices when it comes to my top response to discard later on in my chain, as well as it's giving extra speed so that I can attempt to trigger my my bottom enhance. On to the kick. The kick is straight up just a reprint of Ida's response on an attack, and so I don't have a ton of cards that we don't have like over here that don't work. But the big thing here, and I probably should have put him on the slide. Eraserhead is insane with this card. It's like a million speed in Eraserhead. Discard a card for +2 speed. Discard erase, pick up erase for +2 speed. It's really, really fast. Not to mention you get to cycle the extra cards and draw. Yeah, it's really, really good stuff. Onto his foundation. His attacks are really good at triggering his foundation, and his foundation is just a copy of his bottom enhance. Genuinely, I think this is like really, really... I love Jaska to death. I think this is really lazy design for this character. And part of the reason that he feels so weak and uninteresting is because literally, if you want to play Ida 2, you could just play him split apart in a different deck. And so, like, it's fine. It's fine. But try to stay positive. This card is a 1/5 with a 3 high block, and so if under these symbols you're missing the block zone, you're missing the low difficulty, the spam foundations, it is certainly an option for you. And once again, these cards are only gonna this character and his support is only gonna get better the more sets that we have. If you weren't convinced to pick up the DLC for the other 3 packages, excuse me, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine later. Atsui 2. This character has got some really cool gameplay loops. I like this character's gameplay loops a lot. 6 hand size, Atsui. She has 29 health. She has the evil symbol, life and water. Let's see if her support can help support the evil symbol enough to make that like a playable symbol in the game, huh? Enhance : if your attack is not blocked, your next attack gets +2 speed. So it's it punishes your opponent for interacting with you, right? By like making your opponent question whether they want to block or not. Because if they block poorly, I'm gonna punish them because of my bottom enhance of enhance your attack, discard a card from my rival's card pool. Your ranged attack gets +4 damage, and so I can string together these big long strings and either just get in a bunch of free damage because my opponent is afraid of my bottom enhance of pushing that +2 on it, or and making moves like really fast and unblockable. Or your opponent blocks everything out, and then they have a very full card pool. They have bad cards in their hand, and then you just like kick one card out of their card pool for +4 damage. Essentially, the bottom hand says discard one, or excuse me, it says -1 speed +4 damage. Right? Essentially, is what that card says, and that's not a terrible exchange rate. Like, it's not the best exchange rate possible, but it is a neat one, especially whenever we have cards under these symbols that push. That push up to that push cards into the card pool, that flood the card pool. What up, Blownfire? Welcome to the chat. So now we get to talk about the cards that are really good for Atsui. We've got things like Rapid Tape Strike, Enhanced Commander Foundation. If this attack is not blocked, your rival discards a foundation, or excuse me, discards a card. And so not only is our next move going to get that +2 speed, but our opponent's going to discard a card, which means that there's going to be even less. So you're going to force your opponent to interact with you and block, which is going to leave your card pool available for your range attacks to start getting a bunch of extra damage. Setup Strike is kind of the same way as Atsui. If your opponent does not block your Setup Strike, your next move is getting +5 speed, which feels exceptionally good. Wow. It's so good. Eat My Sticky Balls, as well as Sticky Balls, is a good way to flood the card pool with neat cards. And this is something that I have just now seen, right? Is I am looking at the evil lineup, and if we have any good evil Fury cards to like play as the last card of our chain, there's a lot of evil cards that say, yo, if you block this, you get hella punished. And so with Atsui saying if it's not blocked, and all the evil cards saying if blocked, she might be a contender for like an okay playable evil deck, as long as your attack lineup has enough low blocks in it. So there is that. Things like Evil Gaze, playing Evil Gaze into Atsui's top enhance, like is just a real damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario for your opponent. And her Frog Lashings are absolutely massive. Her Frog Lashings are huge. Frog Lashing, excuse me. Setup Strike into Frog Lashing is a +4 speed move into +4 speed damage. So +4/+4 is like crazy. And then her attack card. If you thought that she was good in like what she does, her attack card is yoked, guys. Her attack card is insane. It takes Mineta from being a like tier 3 character all the way up to, I could see Mineta being like an A- character off the back of this card all by its lonesome. You still have to play really tight, like you still got to play tight lines, but this card is so good. I have unplugged my headphone. But yeah, this card is so good for Mineta. It is essentially a 5 low for 7 because of how, as your first move, a 5 low for 7 inside of the card pool, and it only scales from there. He was in a top 3 post I saw this weekend with DLC added. Yeah, he's crazy. He's super good. He's super good. Eat My Sticky Balls as a lead-in attack to force cards into the card pool, whether by block or by not blocked. Sticky Ball Toss Tackle being the poor man version of Tongue Whip, but the fact that it's a throw as opposed to being an off-zone move is like just good enough, right? And like it is like, oh, you dealt with my Tongue Whip, I will Sticky Ball Toss Tackle, and it's gonna get just as stacked. Creepy Realization is a really good card to combo with Tongue Whip. It essentially just doubles the damage on Tongue Whip, and then Sticky Balls is like Eat My Sticky Balls is a way to kickstart this combo. First villain encounter. The biggest travesty for the evil symbol is that this card doesn't have a low block. If this card had a low block, it would be amazing, and the evil symbol, I think, would start putting up results. On the contrary, the fact that this card has a high block says that the water symbol got way stronger, because that's what it was really missing, is high impact water block, high blocks. Commit, your attack gets a speed and damage. Your next ranged attack this turn gets -1 difficulty. So basically, you commit this, to have your first card not count towards progressive. But any move gets the bonus. Anything, including things like punches or like this frog kick that we're showing off here. And then the important part of this ability, the crazy part of this ability, is the Deadlock Enhance Flip : your rival adds 2 foundations from their stage to their card pool. You guys remember what this card does, right? You guys remember what this one does? Yeah, that is 2 speed and debuild my opponent on everything. If my opponent just had a build turn, right? Let's assume that they built just to 11 foundations and didn't commit any cards to do so. I just first enhance, flip this guy, and shove 2 of their cards. They've debuilt 2, so now they've got -2 to their check for the turn, and they've got +2 speed on all your moves. Actually crazy. This card with Crow and Frog Takedown is so unbelievably silly. It makes me want to play Tokoyami under the evil symbol because I can commit this card and then uncommit it back with Crow and Frog, and I'll never pay for a check ever again. Enhance Crow and Frog. I will have this card not count towards progressive. I will commit. It'll get +1/+1. I will say that my next one gets -1 difficulty. I will ready back up my first villain encounter. I will play another move. This one didn't count. I've got +1 difficulty. I will play my Dark Shadow Ruin on a 4 difficulty. Oh, I will commit my first villain encounter, and I haven't found a Summon Dark Shadow. Well, I guess this move certainly has gotten +1/+1 because it says my attack. So I'm gonna give it stun 1 and 3 more damage. Right? You see the combos that is writing themselves. Yeah, this card is absolutely fantastic. On just the enhance, and the deadlock is just like icing on the cake. It just says that your opponent's not allowed to go to deadlock versus this card. It's crazy. So things like tape swing, forcing big huge lines. With the deadlock enhance, it makes cards like Creeper Realization crazy good. It makes double Frigid Heat Wave turns feel great, right? Your Frigid Heat Wave with just these 2 cards. Excuse me, is a 6 high for 5 that you make your next Frigid Heat Wave on a 5 again. Frog Kick gets to do a very similar thing to Crow and Frog Takedown, but it gets to re-ready itself, so it is a 3 low for 6 because this attack gets the +1 and then your next ranged, and then you kick it with Atsui and you get to re-ready your first villain encounter. Sticky Balls lets you add a card into their card pool. What am I saying with Sticky Balls? Oh, it's just more card pool flooding with Sticky Balls. Yeah, I guess that's it. But yeah, this card's absolutely stacked. All of her kit is. If the first 3 characters, if you're like, I'm not interested. Oh, Sticky Balls is a tongue whip buff. Yeah. If you are not interested in any of the DLC, you're gonna want to pick the 2 DLCs up exclusively for these 2 cards. Tongue Whip, first villain encounter. These cards are crazy, guys. They're so good. They're so good. You know what another crazy line is under the evil symbol? You can make your Gale Force punches of 5 diff by committing this foundation. Because it is a punch ranged attack. It's funny. So here's the end of it. Chat, do you have any questions about the DLC? I know this is sometimes this is a bit of a weird product. And so if you are live over on twitch.tv/TamCardwell and you want to talk about DLC, or even it doesn't have to be a Q&A, we can look at like Captain's Penny, right? 2 DLC went straight into my 1 Atsui deck. Why suited Ida 2 in his own tier? I just don't think Ida 2 is impactful into the game even in a remotely acceptable way to be in his own tier. Is there a leak in my soda can? That's crazy, dog. Yeah. So with that, I mean that's my Tam talk, right? It's over. Yeah, no more slides. Is there a good character from the DLC? I think if we want to talk about quote unquote good character Lone Fire, I think that Atsui 2 is a good character. I think she's a fine character. I think that Ochako is a good character. I think Ochako is very good. Sorry, I think Ochako is a good character. Good to very good. And then I think All Might 2 is a great character. I think All Might 2 is stacked. I think he's really, really good. I know you built that double front, Bakugo. What do you think about adding first day? Would that help a bit? Yeah, probably, right? It makes my opponent not want to block my moves, and it makes my double fronts a little bit safer. It says that my double fronts check a 3 instead of a 1. So yeah, if you can find Room Gore Snack, I think there's totally a spot to put first day at class. I think that's a good addition. Good call. Maybe I should have put double front on this page. That'd have been smart. Do you think the new cards will solve some of the imbalances we have in the metagame right now, or is it not enough? I don't know if that they'll solve the imbalances, but I think that... So I don't think that these cards are necessarily going to push the top tiers higher, right? Like, I'm looking at the top tiers, and like the only one that gets a ton out of this kit is Shigaraki gets float combo, and Eraserhead gets high engine kick, right? But I don't think that it is going to I don't think that it's going to like Kirishima with high engine kick is not gonna like do gangbusters. What are his other symbols? It's good. What's the good card? Like, I don't think he plays staggering. I don't think he plays mighty punch. So like Kirishima's not gonna get any better with this card. I do think a good punch Kirishima would be neat with this card though, right? As soon as you get coordinated effort out, it just feels terrible. Just picks this thing up again and just slams it down. It's another 3 mid for 9. Deal with it, idiot. You gotta block this punch. That's funny. But I think it's gonna support more of your lower tier characters, right? Like I think more people get to go out and play Todoroki now because of the water cards that it got introduced with Tongue Whip and First Villain Counter, right? Like I think that character gets to be a little bit more playable. Monetta's now a playable character. This card Tongue Whip, I think is good enough to like paying 4 health, excuse me, for Shoji to pick this card up every turn is a great exchange rate, right? Because Shoji puts the same amount of damage on it as Moneta does, right? So I am doubling my exchange rate, not to mention this plus his throws under the life symbol. I could easily see a life, or if somebody wants to push for an evil deck with Shoji with Tongue Whip and like could go pull results. Yeah, I think it's gonna take the mid tiers and it's gonna bring them up an extra one, and I think that's cool. I think that's really, really cool. It's kind of doing what I think what DLC is supposed to do: introduce, spice up, change up things a little bit, and kind of help out the lower kids. So with that, I have to now read chat again. I think float combo. Oh yeah, sorry. I mean Shigaraki with float combo is like nutty. float combo Shigaraki is gonna be crazy. Evil Low Block is still lacking. I agree, but I think with the DLC, having access to this low attack might be enough to pull it out, because I think a lot of their moves are very good. A lot of their attacks have good low blocks. So at least it's not like a totally dead zone. Or sorry, it's not a totally dead symbol. I think that D20 universe, I think that you could it could be in the running. It could be. I think it be meta defining and change the zone. Nah, I don't think it is. I personally want to see 2 new Fury range attacks in the next set. I have an idea that seems super dumb on paper. We'd love to hear it, Fuzzy. Putting that Bakugo list, you could use first day multiple times. Yeah, you certainly could, Gorsnack. Yeah, that's a good line. We like that. With that, I think that's it for the TAM talks today. I greatly appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me today. It's been a blast. I was live.